This is Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, a force of nature, a living legend, a name that echoes through stadiums before she even steps on the track. And in Kingston, she just reminded the world why she's redefining the limits of athletic greatness.
Which would be a shame. She's been a brilliant athlete her whole career and would be, or is, enjoying being part of Grand Slam. Sian Salmon, decent draw for her in 7 years. She was 6th in the hurdle event. Just need to judge this right, the athletes. I think Sydney will certainly be able to do that. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, done this so many times. Such a great exponent over all the sprints, never mind with there's hurdles in the way. Rochelle Clayton, 32-year-old Jamaican, has run a flat 400 already this year, in a fairly swift 52.3 thereabouts. Not too far off that personal best you can see in the caption. Adrianette Knight, her teammate, similarly indoors for her though, 52.8. Normally you run quicker outdoors than indoors. So this is Peters of the Netherlands, a big part of the Dutch very successful 4x4 and mixed 4x4 squad that does so well at Olympics and Worlds. And then Cassandra Tate of the USA on the inside. Just might find the others moving away from her here, particularly I think with Peters in the lane 3. Just got held a little bit longer by the starter there, but they're away and gone. McLaughlin-Levrone already making up ground, and we've just had a pull-up from Rochelle Clayton, who's pulled up in the first 100 meters, maybe trying to hang on to the American, who knows. Going very quickly, Cassandra Tate, right on the inside, has started exceptionally quickly through the first 200 meters. But it's McLaughlin-Levrone out in lane 6, smoothly making their way around the top bend. Cassandra Tate, eyed on the inside, has run an excellent first 300, but is she going to pay for that as they come into the wind in the home straight? Sydney out on her own as we expected it to be, then it's going to be a real scrap for the minor places behind her. Tate is just starting to tread water in the home straight there, but it's Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone who's going to come through to make it 2 wins in the women's long hurdles. It's 50.32. Knight just took 2nd place. It was tough out there. The wind was never going to make that easy, but the victory was never really in doubt. It was just a case of how quick and by how far. Well, the answer was almost 2 seconds, which in the 400 meters is a long, long way. It has to be said, though, that Knight has run her season's best, and Dalila Muhammad in the 52-second mark. But there's our winner. There's our slam winner, our final slam winner of the first Grand Slam track. As we said, if you're going to run that quick for 400 hurdles, of course you can run quick on the flat.
Yeah, being able to run 48 seconds in the flat 4 as a 4 hurdler is unheard of. She ran 22 seconds into a headwind in the 200 last season. So speed-wise, she's not even comparable to some of these women out here. So I think she may even surprise us later on in the year and say, look, I'm going to go to the World Championships to run the 4.
Or maybe the 800.
I don't know about that.
I would love to see her run an 800 or 2, but I don't know if she wants to.
But I mean, really, just going through the motions here and just securing the money, you know, it's an easy 400,000 for her if she goes through all 4 and dominates the way she's doing. But if she wants to really test herself and test some of the other competitors and show what she can do in other events, she's gonna jump in that long sprints and go against some of those other women in that 4 and that deuce.
Well, MJ enjoyed it. You may hear the party's already started here in the stadium. There was a big win that Cassandra Tate went through the first 300 meters. She must have only been about 4 or 5 meters behind her, but look where she finished in the end.
Fresh off a victory in the flat 400 meters, Sydney returned to her true battlefield, the 400-meter hurdles, and delivered a performance that left no room for doubt. In the second leg of the 2025 Grand Slam track series, she torched the field with a staggering time of 50.32 seconds, even while battling a brutal headwind. A time that would be astonishing under perfect conditions, yet she did it against the wind, with elegance and fury. This marked her second win of the weekend, and more than just a win, it was a statement. A thunderclap across the sport. Sydney isn't just ahead of the competition. She's rewriting the very definition of what's possible in the 400-meter hurdles. The field was no joke, stacked with seasoned warriors and rising stars. Among them was Dalilah Muhammad, the Olympic and world champion now in her farewell season, hoping for one last shot at glory. Jamaica's Andronette Knight and Rashawn Clark, hungry for a breakthrough on home soil. The Netherlands' Femke Bol, part of Europe's most feared relay squads. And the USA's Cassandra Tate, who came out of the blocks like a bullet. But none could match Sydney. Tate blazed through the first 300 meters with reckless confidence, but that early fire fizzled fast, and the final straight exposed her gamble. Knight surged, claiming second, but her effort only emphasized how far ahead Sydney already was. It wasn't just dominance, it was separation, both literal and symbolic. As the stagger unraveled, Sydney moved like silk over every hurdle, each stride a masterclass in biomechanics and mental precision. Her final 100 meters looked less like a race and more like a coronation. She didn't just cross the finish line. She stamped her authority on the season, the event, and the sport. Winning by nearly 2 full seconds in a one-lap hurdles race is unheard of. That margin alone could define a career. But for Sydney, it's just another chapter in a legendary saga. She holds the world record. She's run 48 seconds flat in the 400, 22 seconds in the 200. Even under pressure, even into the wind, she performs like she's built from a different blueprint. Analysts whisper about whether she might someday conquer the 800 meters, a true test of power and endurance. That remains to be seen, but what's certain is that she could. And this isn't just about medals or records. It's about legacy. Sydney's brilliance unfolded at the debut of the Grand Slam track series, a groundbreaking event launched by Olympic icon Michael Johnson. This new format aims to bring structure, spectacle, and real financial reward to professional track and field. 4 major meets, elite competition, and prize money that finally matches the athlete's effort. And it's already changing lives. With her 2 wins in Kingston, Sydney walked away with $100,000, a payday unheard of in most professional meets. It's proof of what this sport can be when it's treated with the respect it deserves. The Grand Slam is not just a series. It's a revolution. The atmosphere in Kingston? Electric. The stands roared as Sydney floated over the hurdles. Social media lit up with her name. Fans who hadn't watched track in years were glued to their screens. This wasn't just a race, it was a cultural moment. And it proved that when marketed right, track and field can be every bit as thrilling as any sport on earth. With future Grand Slam events set to span the globe, the stage is only getting bigger. And at the center of it all is Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, the face of a new era. Her mix of humility, strength, and dominance is changing the way we talk about athletes, about women in sports, about greatness itself. She's not just running to win. She's running to transform. So remember the name. This is Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. And she's just getting started. Subscribe for more amazing sports content.